I have so many questions about charts and no one to help me. If only there was a place I could go to learn which doesn't cost a fortune.
There is such a place. It's my Patreon. It's £7.50 a month and you get 2 live streams a week. Ask me anything you like about any chart that you want.
What about trading platforms?
Well, in the video description I've got a link for all the best ones and you can get up to 20% off all your trading fees for life.
Thanks CryptoClick, you demand bro.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at Bitcoin then. So just focusing on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin chart without looking at any of the other things that we're going to look at in just a moment. Looks quite good, I have to say. We bounced from this trend line of the RSI. Now the MACD is still losing its momentum. That's something to be more than aware of, to be honest with you. But as far as the higher term time frames, so daily, 3-day, weekly, they seem okay. So a bit of dwindling momentum on the daily, but the 3-day is still strong. And these are the reasons why I favour the upside more than the downside. So going up to the 26,600, potentially the summer highs, last summer's lows, but basically the 28, 29, 30. So on its own chart, on its own merit, I favour those sort of those moves. It's only when we move it from a daily and lower we start to see a little bit less momentum. That's mostly only really to do with the MACD, and the money flow index was relatively high and is sort of cooling off still, but I wouldn't particularly sort of be worried about that. If we move over to the 4-hour though, a very encouraging thing happened yesterday. This is one of the things we were looking for and waiting for, which is the golden cross. So we got the first one over here and then another one. It's usually the second one that gets that momentum going. We had a perfect retest of the 200 exponential, so basically that 22,400 area, so in between the 5 and the 200, which is what the sort of the two areas that we were looking for based on moving averages and horizontals. So what we'd be looking for, I suppose, is if you look at this, you see a bit of a consolidation trend line. Depends how you want to look at it. So you could also see it as a channel. For me, it's basically just a retest of this moving average, and if this breaks down, then yes, we can entertain, just like yesterday, in fact, for the last week or so, 21,600 or so. But really, I think if we start to lose 22,200, then that is it. We move back down into these lower ranges. But it is what it is, and it's not all that bad. Higher term time frames seem okay. Lower term time frames have, I suppose, completed like a bullish retest, and now we're going to see if we've got the power to break above 23,800, and that would cause a continuation, as given to us and as shown to us with the momentum on the daily, 3 daily, and weekly. So eyes on the 4-hourly. Now it is Friday, right? And Fridays often do get a bit of a sell-off, especially in traditional markets when they've been moving up. So let's just have a think about that for a moment. So I was talking about the everything bounce. Now I've started to coin the everything collapse, or the everything dump, or the everything crash, and it was when the Nasdaq approaches this area, and so far we are continuing to move up into the area. So our Bollinger Band top approaches now. A little bit above that, literally by about 1% more, is the descending triangle of this. What is it? It's the resistance of the descending triangle all around these levels. So I would be looking for a rejection on Nasdaq around here. Now, as far as momentum is concerned, bearish divergence was cancelled out, but we've continued to get bearish divergence, and then we get a third drive which is cancelled out, and then that plays out the last big move down here. It's the same kind of reads really. 2 drives and a down, 1, we haven't got a second drive and a down. But like I say, I mean, I'm not against the idea of this breaking out. I just think now's the time to harvest some of those profits. Now obviously I know many of you subscribe to this channel. We were talking about the everything bounce over here. We've dealt very, very well with this bounce. So the everything bounce has worked out exactly as expected. But it was only a bounce, as far as I'm concerned. I'm okay for it to cause a reversal, but I don't really see how it's the most likely scenario given what we can see in front of our faces. So taking chips off the table here is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take part of that Friday sell-off. That'll be me. So if and when you start to see the red candles emerging on the Nasdaq and traditional markets, just remember that was me. So there's not just this. So this is the Nasdaq chart. We've been through this many times. Not just that, but if we think about oil is part of the reason why I did the everything bounce in the first place. Finding a top around 120 120, and then basically breaking down consistently after that. Now this is a bearish chart, bearish formation. Continuation down is most likely going to be the case, but not without a bounce. Now if we look at what we see here, we basically see oil looking to break down to basically 85. Now we could get a front run from here. This could be the bounce already taking place right now. If that breaks down, which I expect it will, 75 is going to be the place. That's where I think oil's going to bottom, but there is a chance that 65 is going to be the area too. So I made a tweet about this yesterday, thinking that this will be an obvious place to see a little bounce now, and then a pullback on traditional markets, and then Bitcoin and the crypto moving downwards through association with indexes and stocks. It's not the end of the world though, because again, I don't believe that this is the bottom for oil. I think 75 and maybe even 65 later on down the line this year potentially is going to be the bottom for oil. It's going to remain high though. Don't see it going anywhere lower than 65. Most likely it's going to stay above 75, but it can probably come down to 65 because that's still relatively high in oil terms. It's not ridiculous. So long story short, I think we've reached at least a potential top as far as indexes and stocks are concerned. You have to assume that Bitcoin's going to move through association with those, despite having a bullish retest and higher turn time frames momentum continuing. I do favour the Bitcoin chart, and if we can show that the Bitcoin is decoupled somewhat to traditional markets, then we should start to expect and see some further upside for Bitcoin and crypto, you know, throughout the next few weeks, reaching that target of 26,600 and then maybe beyond after that. But if the correlation continues to be as high as it has been since 2020, which is quite likely, then we are looking for, I suppose, a major pullback. So Bitcoin's chart gets a green tick. I know everyone's super bearish out there, but I quite like it. It is good on, you know, from the high term time frames all the way down to the 4 hourly. It's quite good. I'm just a little nervous given the way that we worked out the rotation of the energy sector into traditional markets, stocks and risk assets, and now I think we're looking for the inverse of that to take place. So out of stocks, back into energy. Whether it's just for a week or two, I don't know, but it does look like the most obvious play at the moment. And crypto has been relatively, crap in comparison to traditional markets. There's been a lot of opportunity in stocks these last 8-9 weeks, which is why I made such a big song and dance about the everything bounce. I think this is where it's going to go again now. So out of stocks, into energy, and then see if we can make that rotation again later on down the line maybe. Anyway, I'm going to leave with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.